everybody, I'm at the Bonaventure Cemetery. I hope I pronounced that right. But it's the biggest cemetery in Savannah, Georgia, and it's really beautiful and eerie to take in. It's almost over 100 acres, so a huge cemetery. Dates back to the 1840s. It actually used to be a plantation before a cemetery, so also kind of adds to the eeriness and the southern vibe. But so just when you walk around it, there's these southern live oaks everywhere, and they're covered in Spanish moss, and they add a beauty. And I really feel like these oak trees have like a wise feeling to them. So it just adds to the eeriness at the same time. And you can see, throughout the cemetery, of course, tons of gravestones, but you also have remnants like some Confederate flags on gravestones. You can see a whole area dedicated to people who practice Judaism, and they had a memorial for the Holocaust here also, and just the concept that it used to be a plantation. There's so much going on in the cemetery, just let alone just having it be about life and death. So it's a lot to take in. I'm probably not even fully explaining it, but I'll kind of walk around, show some footage, and let's see what it looks like. One of the other interesting things about the cemetery is that, unlike some other cemeteries I've been to around the world, this is open to tours. Even on Halloween, they have like ghost stories, they have a huge event. But at the same time, there's also people here respecting their loved ones, dropping off flowers, and spending time. Historically, you can see that this cemetery was laid out so people could come and picnic, and it's kind of mix of enjoyment, appreciation, and also remembering your loss. So it's really open to the public every day, open to photos, open to videos, so check it out. While I was walking around the cemetery, I found it actually pretty interesting to look at the ages and birth years of the people buried here. This family had a baby born in 1861 that died at 9 months old, and then 2 years later they had a baby born in 1863 that died at 6 months old. It was probably more common for babies to die back then, but it's still a lot to go through for the family, so there's definitely a story there. And one of the oldest death dates that I could find was 1853. And although it was a personal cemetery earlier, it's generally noted that this cemetery was established in 1846, so around the time of this death date. And although it's not the oldest cemetery I've ever been to, this person was born practically 200 years ago, which is really crazy to think about how things have changed and how different of a life that was. I also find it interesting how much people must have invested to have a plot and build some of these huge monuments. Especially because you can imagine that potentially 200 plus years ago, people will be walking through the cemetery, imagining the life that you lived. So, thanks for watching, and check back next week for another video.